Welcome back to Demystifying Kabbalah. Today we're exploring the valuable connection between spiritual growth and reincarnation, specifically as taught by the stages of giving by the Rebbe Avraham Mordecai Gottlieb. This teaching helps us see how the soul evolves through lifetimes, moving from self-centeredness to divine bestowal. If you've ever wondered about your divine purpose or how to refine your soul, then today this discussion may resonate. Let's dive in. The purpose of the soul's journey. In Kabbalah, our soul's ultimate goal is to shift from a consciousness of receiving to receive to one that is receiving in order to give. Every incarnation is another opportunity to refine this process. According to Rebbe Avraham Mordecai Gottlieb, there are multiple stages in the process of giving, each reflecting a different level of spiritual consciousness. These stages mirror our journey over multiple lifetimes, as we shift from ego-driven desires to a pure connection with the Creator. Let's discuss some of these stages and see what they reveal about the soul's evolution. The first stage of the soul's journey is the most basic. It's receiving for oneself alone. At this stage, the soul's focus is purely on personal gratification, seeking pleasure, status, wealth, control, with little regards to others. This stage is essential as it's our starting point, much like an infant who's entirely dependent on receiving care and nourishment. But if we stay in this state, we'll remain spiritually asleep. A soul at this level is often caught in cycles of reincarnation, repeating the same struggles because it has yet to evolve beyond self-interest. We all enter the world in this state, but it is our goal to go beyond it. The next stage is giving in order to receive. Naturally, as the soul matures, it reaches this second stage, that is, giving in order to receive. Here, a person learns that giving can bring rewards, whether love, respect, or even divine favor. While this seems more evolved than pure selfishness, it's still transactional. Can't you see how the motivation is still self-serving? For example, someone might donate to charity, but expect recognition. Or some may perform good deeds with an expectation that they believe they will be rewarded in this life or the next. It's a step forward, but not yet true selflessness. Many spiritual seekers pass through this stage thinking they're giving with a generosity, but their giving is still tied to their personal gain. The next stage is giving for the sake of giving. This is where the true transformation begins. The soul starts to experience joy just from the simple act of giving, without expecting anything in return. At this stage, a person gives because they generally care about others, not because they seek or expect any kind of reward. Think of the mother who cares for their child without expecting any kind of thanks, or someone who helps a stranger with no desire for recognition. This kind of giving aligns with the divine because in Kabbalah, the Creator is the ultimate giver. Souls who reach this stage may be nearing the completion of their tikkun. Tikkun being our ultimate spiritual correction, the one that we're brought here to work on. People in this stage are often drawn to perform acts of kindness, service, or selfless love. Now we reach a truly profound stage, receiving in order to give. At first, it might sound contradictory or paradoxical. Why should we receive at all if we desire to be selfless? But in Kabbalah, it's not about rejecting the receiving, but instead becoming a vessel for divine bestowal. Imagine a person who acquires wisdom, fame, or fortune, but they don't use it to aggrandize themselves, but instead to uplift their community, to help others. Another example, a musician who uses their talent to inspire others. Or how about this revolutionary thought? A leader who works for their community instead of themselves. At this level, the soul understands that receiving isn't the problem. The question is, what do we do with all that we receive? This stage is rare and requires significant spiritual refinement. Souls at this level have spent lifetimes working through their ego-driven desires and are now aligned with the higher divine purpose. And that stage of pure divine bestowal, that's where a soul has no longer any desires at all. It's aspirational, but they become a pure divine channel for light. That soul has worked to only exist to serve others, embodying the Creator's endless giving. At this point, the soul is fully unified with the infinite and has completed its cycle of reincarnation. It no longer needs to return to this world, unless it chooses to do so for the sake of helping others. In Kabbalistic tradition, the great Tzaddikim, or righteous souls of history, figures like the Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai or the Baal Shem Tov, are said to have reached this level, living purely for the sake of others. Now, how do we apply this wisdom in our own lives? Recognizing there are stages to giving helps us analyze and realize where we are on our own spiritual journeys. We do this by asking ourselves a few questions. Am I mostly focused on receiving for myself? Do I give but expect nothing in return? Do I give purely for the joy of giving? Am I using what I receive to uplift others? Am I striving towards pure bestowal? Each stage is a necessary step. The goal is to keep moving forward, to refine our intentions, to elevate our giving, and to align ourselves with the divine purpose of our soul. When we begin to reflect on our life as a whole, we begin to see our struggles and our problems as part of a larger journey. Each encounter, each lifetime, each era affords us the opportunity to shift this selfish love to more of a selfless intention, shifting from feeding the ego to becoming an agent of divine bestowal. If anything from this discussion resonated with you, please let us know, or send it to a friend, especially one who may be interested on the path of Kabbalah. Huge thank you to all of our Patreon community. We would not be here if not for your support. Please subscribe for more wisdom on the path, especially to our Patreon page, and remember to keep those rainbows rolling.